Dr. Mabila Mathebula, you're looking so fantastic today. It looks like you are also driving.
I am. I am driving. In fact, I wanted to come to the studio.
Hey, Dr. Mabila Mathebula, you see, that's a teaser.
Yeah, I didn't want to be unprofessional. I decided, let me not go to the studio. Let me be in the car because I'm somewhere in Johannesburg.
You should have come in. There will not be anything unprofessional about you pitching up at your own show.
At all.
Okay, fine. I'll do it next week.
Thank you so very much. So over the past few days, we were all about being diagnostic. Now, how do we restore love, Dr. Mabila Mathebula?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and I'm glad you brought it up. That last week we spoke about a situation where things had fallen apart, where there was no longer a relationship, but a situationship. Nothing was left. But now today we are going to talk about restoration, that something that has been lost can be restored. That's what we're going to talk about today.
So you call it situationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's no relationship, as I said, where there's no relationship, it's a situation, and we can call it situationship.
Dr. Mabila Mathebula, there's somebody who's actually burning right here in the studio. He says today he tried to hold it in within himself, but today he's going to get a chance to ask a question. So, Dr. Mabila Mathebula, after this, if I don't ask him to ask you a question, please remind me, because he is burning. I can see smoke coming out of his ears.
Yeah, when people ask questions, it means that you are saying something interesting to them.
Aha. Which is a very, very...
Have you heard a saying, they say we're closer to God when we're asking questions than when we think we have got the answers.
Sure. Oh, okay. Okay, we all just took a bit of a moment there.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Mabila, we're not going to ask where are you driving to, but all we're going to do is to talk about love restoration. When we say love restoration, what is it that we are talking about?
Yeah. Thank you very much. We said last week that love has got three components. You have got intimacy, you have got passion, and you have got commitment. But when you have to start restoring your love, you start from commitment. Where you define the purpose. Why? What is love? Why are we in this relationship? Where are we headed to? And the following questions need to be asked by people who want to restore their relationship. Firstly, you have to ask, how did we get to this mess? Because when we saw each other, you were really nearest and dearest. How did we get here?
Exactly.
That's the first question that we have to ask. Secondly, what was the purpose of our relationship? Firstly, why did we meet?
Exactly.
Did we meet to develop each other or not? Like I used to say to my friends, in the past when I was young, I said, when you are involved with a woman, you need to develop her, and she needs to develop you, so that even when you don't marry, she must actually say that I'm who I am today because I once met Stan. You need to make an impact. What was the purpose of your relationship?
Yes.
Did you set any goals for your relationship? Because what we do is we set company goals, but we don't set family goals. What are the goals of your relationship? Did you set goals? You need to ask yourself a question. Did we agree on a dispute, resolution mechanism? That should we actually experience conflict, how are we going to go about resolving our conflict? Because you must actually understand that where there's interaction, there'll always be conflict. Have you decided upon that? That once we have got conflict, what is it that we're going to do? Are we going to lock ourselves in a bedroom? Are we going to go to a restaurant and say, this is how I feel, dear, about the relationship? This is how I feel about what you did yesterday. The resolution, mechanism. Do you have it in place? And did you create a room to discuss openly how you want to be loved? For example, a woman would actually say, Stan, this is how I want to be loved. I want you to hold, when we go out, I want us to hold hands. When we meet in the morning, I want us to embrace. I want us to kiss. Now most of the people, they don't actually define. A woman does not even know how to be loved in a relationship.
And when they don't know how to be loved, they are not going to be able to voice it out, but they will be angry if their expectations are not met.
Absolutely. That's what I used to say, that particularly men, I'm not trying to bash men. I'm actually saying to us, at times men, we forget to tell our women that I love you. And I've always said that if you don't tell your woman or your girlfriend or your wife that you love her, other men are going to do it for you. It's a role that can even be taken away from you. If you don't tell her that you love her, other men are going to tell her that we love you. If you don't tell her that she's beautiful, other men are going to tell her. Now, if you don't do it, it's a role that can easily be taken away from you.
Yeah.
And then lastly, did we have a crisis management plan? In organizations we have got crisis management. And then in your relationship, do you have a crisis management plan that should we go through a crisis, what is it that we're going to do? Whom can we consult? How are we going to, how are we going to go about our crisis? Do we have close friends? Do we have a partner? Do we have, what is it that we are going to do should we go through a crisis? Those are the things that you have to ask yourself in order to get into commitment in your relationship.
So which basically means that you need to have certain controls that you can be able to tap into for you to be able to deal with whatever crisis that you can talk about. So Dr. Mabila Mathebula, what is the approach?
Well, the approach is, more often than not, people want to say, I am right, you are wrong. But in this situation, if you want to build a relationship, what's important is not who is wrong or who's right. You do what is right.
Dr. Mathebula, I want you to repeat that.
Please. One more time.
Yes. Dr. Mabila Mathebula, we just want you to repeat that. The way you put it, yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you, people, whenever they are in a situation like this, they want to blame each other. You did this, you did that, what? But if you want to restore your relationship, that's not important. What's important is what is right, not who is right. Maybe in that relationship you have got children. You think about the welfare of your relationship, of your children. Also, you have got friends. Stan, you must also understand that when you have got a relationship, when you break up with your partner, you are not only hating yourself and your children, but also people around your relationship. You have got people who support you. You are hating them. Now, you are doing what is good, what is right, not who is right. Because you are not going to win anything. If maybe Vision wants to say, I am wrong, when I'm wrong, when I what? No, what is right? It's like they say, paying the TV license is the right thing to do.
Yes.
For example, now here you have to think that reconciling and putting your relationship on a right footing is the right thing to do. And you don't have to go there with your inflated sense of your own importance. You need to humble yourself.
So, Dr. Mabila Mathebula, what is the next level once you have committed to higher purpose?
Yeah, the next level is a question of intimacy. And intimacy, it's not a sprint, but a marathon.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then now you should start calling each other during the day. You call, how are you? How are you keeping? I love you. I miss you.
Vision's actually shaking
You
his
know?
head.
That's how that's how you create, intimacy. You call her, she calls you, you express how you feel about her. I love you. She wants to hear those words. I miss you. How are you? And if you don't tell her, other men are going to tell her.
So which basically means that once you have sorted out commitment and intimacy, there's something that comes now automatically. What is it?
Obviously, passion will come automatically. Because there's commitment, you are committed to the relationship. There is intimacy, you are intimate. And passion comes automatically. Passion, as we said last week, those are strong feelings. And a strong feeling, is a strong emotion.
An emotion is a strong feeling.
Hey, Vision.
Yeah. Now when you talk to her on the phone, she might actually experience orgasm because there is everything in the relationship. When you say hello, like Barry White used to say, that's another way to say I love you. I can't give you what God gave me. When you say those things, everything says, wow, the whole body responds. The whole body experiences some orgasm. Because all the ingredients of love are there.
So what is it that we need to take note of, Dr. Mabila Mathebula?
Yeah. What we have to do is we need to keep our relationship intact, and we don't have to take each other for granted. And then you must actually understand that there is commitment. You need also to move to a level where you also understand that love is not only a feeling but a commitment. And there are some days where you actually feel that, well, I don't feel, but I'm still committed. Like, for example, Monday will always be Monday, whether they release Mandela out of prison or not. Now, that's how you should be committed to your relationship.
So, is the relationship beyond redemption?
No, it is not beyond redemption. Anything can be fixed. On condition people are committed to fix it. I know people who parted ways for 20 years, but they came, back to their senses, like the prodigal son. And they said, you know what? This relationship is more bigger than us. Let us reconcile. And people reconcile. That's why you need to be very humble. And you need to be, you must actually understand that love is beyond you. Because understand, love has been given to you by God. There's no one who there's no person who manufactures love. But the responsibility of managing that love is your responsibility. It's not God's responsibility. It's your responsibility. If you mess up, you fix it up.
Yes.
And you must be willing to humble yourself for the collective good of the relationship.
Absolutely. There must be humility. You must not have your inflated sense of your own importance. You must be humble.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what, Dr. Mabila Mathebula? I think with that said, what are our quotable quotes for today?
Yeah, I wanted Vision to say them on air. I don't know as to whether Vision, are you next to those quotes?
Yes, sir. Most definitely, sir.
Yeah, because once you say them, I think you say them with more vitality than I do.
Okay. The first one is, the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender.
By who?
Vinci Lombardi.
By Vinci Lombardi.
Okay. And then another one, Vision?
If you can accept losing, you can't win. It's Vinci Lombardi.
You can say that again.
If you can accept losing, you can't win.
Exactly.
Put it as one whole thing.
Yeah.
Put it as one whole thing. From the first one to the last one. As one entire sentence.
Oh, one entire sentence. The harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. If you can accept losing, you can't win.
Now, Dr. Mabila Mathebula, we've got a young man here. You see, he's burning. So he wants to, he said, today he wants to make sure that he's not shying away because this thing has been eating him up now. We know he's been married now for
5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 months.
Okay, 5 months, Dr. Mabila Mathebula.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kitu?
Hey, yo, dog. How are you doing, dog?
Fine, thanks. How are you, my man?
I'm alright, so I'm alright. Look, okay, at this point, it's no longer more of me wanting to ask a question, but it's me requesting advice, not only for me, but for everybody who's part of my generation as a whole. So, looking at how my generation has found a way to find love and choose to believe that their love is true and, you know, it is what it is. It's the truth personified and all. And then looking at how our parents used to love, I've realized we are way more distant from the true idea of love or what love really is. So what I would love is if you could advise us, the youth of now and the youth of tomorrow, on what love really is and how does one really attain true love as opposed to the fabricated love that we think we are in today.
He used a very interesting word.
Fabricated.
Fabricated love.
You know, he made a comparison that the parents used to love better than the contemporary people, and that may not be the case. You might actually find that you are more experienced in love more than your parents. You know. Because the way you feel love, you know, like it's very difficult to know how Stan loves. How does Stan love? You know, it's very difficult to understand that. But what I can say is, you can actually make an impact in your relationship, and the only impact that you make in your relationship is when you reinforce your commitment, your intimacy, and your passion. And those three, they make up your relationship. But if, for example, you might actually find that your parents, most of our parents, they only had commitment. They couldn't even kiss, they couldn't even hug before, in front of you. But I think you are more advanced there because you can actually, we are now giving you the latitude that you are at liberty to kiss your wife. You are at liberty to embrace her, Now you can actually demonstrate. I think you are in a better position, guys. I've always said that when, Obama became the president of the United States, I was not excited because he was the first black president of the United States. I was only excited that Obama and his wife showed the world that the black person can love. If you could do what Obama and Michelle used to do in public, I'm telling you, you can show the world that you can love. Because black people, we have got this thing that we don't love, we abuse, we do what. But Michelle and Obama have shown the world that a black person can love. And you, my man, I know that like Obama, you can love.
You see, you like Obama, you can love. The good thing that the one advice that he gave you, which is very interesting, is that you can love freely, openly, and show affection in public without having to fear of what somebody else might say. But there are also look at the questions that Dr. Mabila Mathebula asked you to use in your relationship, right? How did we get into this mess? What was the purpose of our relationship? Did we get any goals? Did we agree on dispute resolution mechanism? Did we create a room to discuss openly how we want to be loved? Did we have a crisis management plan? So the approach that he also have given us is to say, let's not look at who is wrong, who is right. Let's look at what is right.
And also, what are the values that, that are underpinned in your relationship? Like, for example, honesty, transparency, lack of secrecy, you need to have these values in your relationship. They must define your relationship. But if you have got a relationship without values, it's tantamount to playing tennis with the net down.
It's tantamount to playing
tennis with
the net down.
With the net down. Dr. Mabila Mathebula, the young man decided to stand up. It looks like the other question actually vanished. But thank you so very much, Dr. Mabila Mathebula. If you need any advice, if you have any suggestion for the next topic, all you need to do is to send a DM to Dr. Mabila Mathebula at Mabila Mathebula on Twitter, at Stan Muraudzi on Twitter, Genesis is Art at Vision, and also Mboneni Stan Muraudzi on Facebook. Thank you so very much, Dr. Mabila Mathebula.